Hello, fellows, and welcome to an IACP special. And maybe it's not that special. We're looking at Season 7 Vassal Logs. You might be asking, why aren't we looking at Season 8? And the short answer is, 1, it's May 1st. And I'm recording this May 1st, this is going up May 1st. And May the 4th be with you is right upon us. I have exactly 4 Vassal Logs left to do from this darn tournament from early Season 7. And I think I'm just not going to let it go until I get these out. So we're going to just run through these. It's not like we have a bunch of Season 8 content for you guys quite yet. If you're catching this on the day it drops, though, we will have another Season 8 live game tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. EST. That's Tuesday, May the 2nd, 8 p.m. EST. We're going to have a second in our series of live games for Season 8. But if you're interested in seeing how one of these tournaments finished off, we've been following this on my channel for a little while. We did a couple of the games in round 1. This is from the October 22nd tourney of 2022. And this match is between Adam and Herbie. Adam's name is Sushi Cat over here on the left hand of the map. And we'll see if we can squeeze that in over here. And he is running a Wookie swarm list. So we already saw this in one of the round 1 logs. So he's got a lot of Wookiees with a lot of names. Now, a little bit of feedback I got from the last time I did one of these log reviews was to make the screens a little more zoomed in. I've done my best to accomplish that for all of the windows over here, especially the map is zoomed in a little bit. We might have to zoom out to catch a couple of command cards at different points in the game to see what's going on. But maybe we just need to keep a little bit of a tighter grip on what the hands look like to see when a card leaves the hand and goes into the map. So on the other side, we have Adam's list, and Adam was running the Han Solo with Leia, Luke Skywalker from Season 7 with Heir to the Jedi, and then Lando, Gideon, R2-D2, and C-3PO. So a very Wonder Twins list with Han and Leia able to work together to get back some of the stronger command cards and give Han even more attacks. Now let's see which, Control V is the shortcut for that. So we can pull Leia up here, so her whole thing is giving battlefield leadership to one of the other figures in the list, which allows her to make her decent attack and then also give another figure an attack. And of course, with her military efficiency, she can recycle command cards into the deck. I actually went up against this. I went up against Herbie round 1 in this tournament, and I do have memories of just how powerful it was having Leia give Han Solo extra attacks. Han attacking 3 times a round is a lot more potent than twice. And then we do have Luke Skywalker with his Heir to the Jedi upgrade. We're actually seeing Hero Luke from the first or second movie. And he's got his Saber Strike, but he also has Inspiring, which gives every figure that attacks within 3 spaces of him a reroll. Now, we do have modified Han here with Rogue Smuggler, which does give him a reroll. But aside from that, not too many rerolls seen in the list. And then, while Luke Skywalker gives other friendly figures rerolls, his Heir to the Jedi card upgrade, of course, gives him an additional reroll as well. Okay, just pulling up a couple things here. And we can get started. Alright, so it looks like the players have already set up at this point in the log. The one thing I'm going to do is explain the mission and pull out Herbie's scorecard here. Looks like they didn't really set that up. And I know it's a little bit over some of the map tiles. If we have players kind of walking into those parts of the map tile, we'll address that. We'll put Herbie's down here, scoot over to the right, or to the left. And initiative, it looks like we have R2-D2 being played by Herbie, so it looks like they didn't really move this token. So I can just go ahead and set this up for them. Okay, just for our log review. So Herbie has initiative, it looks like R2-D2 tapped, so it looks like he's about to activate first. Interesting to note that it looks like while Herbie has 7 activations, we have the Wookie swarm on Adam's side with only 5 activations. So that's 2 elite Wookie warriors, 2 regular Wookie warriors, and of course R2-D2. The Wookie warriors, of course, running Fury of Kashyyyk, and we'll get into that, but I actually learned from one of the comments on my last videos that I had thought that they were supposed to get Pierce 1 in a few more situations than they do. The Pierce 1 from Fury of Kashyyyk only applies to elite Wookiees. And if I could pull that up here. So friendly Wookiees within 3 spaces. Friendly Wookiees gain reach. When a Wookiee suffers 3 more damage, it gets focused. And then when another Wookiee is attacking a figure within 2 spaces, if there's another friendly Wookiee within 2 spaces of the defender, apply Pierce 1 to the attack. So that is only for when a friendly elite Wookiee is attacking. I think I made a few comments in previous videos where I guess regular Wookiee warriors were making attacks and not getting the Pierce I thought they should. But that's just not the case here. It doesn't give them that buff from Fury of Kashyyyk. Which does make a little more sense as to the difference between the elites and the regulars. Although they're still pretty close in point cost in this game. Alright, so continuing on with the turn order. So yeah, we have R2 moving over to a terminal and scomping. Turn 1 play there. Okay, we have Herbie going ahead and moving his... looks like he moved his box all around. I'm just going to remove that. So he kind of did that a little late into the log. But we'll keep it right there for now. And then it looks like we have R2 moving on Adam's side. He's going to also go ahead and scomp. Herbie going to go with Gideon to focus Luke Skywalker. It looks like Han Solo's already focused. I'm guessing we maybe missed the 3PO activation, but I see he's already focused. And Luke just kind of going over to the right. So maybe this is a point to see as some of the figures are heading right, some of them are heading down the center path, what our mission here is. We're looking at arms salvage. So in this one, at the start of each round, you place a power token on each crate, and there are crates of different colors, red, yellow, blue. And at the end of each round, for each crate a player controls, that player gets 2 VPs and can distribute the power tokens on that crate among friendly figures on or adjacent to that crate. And then again, then you get 2 VPs. So, looks like Luke and Herbie heading over to the right side, maybe going to try and control several of those crates in the middle. Now, Vassal does this awful thing every time I hover over these windows, where it wants to show me all these zoomed-in pictures of the characters' hand cards, and that's something I try to deal with, but it's very annoying. Good to note that in this mission, the doors are not locked. Now, I realize that some of you who might be joining IACP recently, if you're catching this, might not recognize this map. This is Deveron Garrison. This was actually my favorite competitive map so far. This recently rotated out of play. We just see some of these normal Wookiees heading up and controlling crates. So Deveron rotated out recently, and I find that to be a shame. But this was a very cool map, very closed quarters, and I think it was very well designed. I believe IACP was the first time it became a competitive map. Some people have reservations about whether to make it one or not, but it wound up being a very good map to play on. A lot of fun memories here. But this is Deveron Garrison. It rotated out about March of this year, I believe. And we see Lando heading over to the right side, going to fully take control of a crate, extending far further than Luke Skywalker. Luke probably wanting to stay in range to give his inspiring to other figures, or stay close enough that if Adam or Herbie's deployment zone gets attacked by the Wookiees, that maybe Leia can battlefield leadership Luke into a better position to attack. But Adam just continuing on to try and control some more crates in the center area, has a very strong control of the center field. And I do believe that the other map on this mission has doors that open at the end of each round but are locked. So this is the one where they can open the doors. So that's what Adam's taking advantage of here. Now, Leia actually moving all the way into the center, seeing that Adam has not moved any of his figures towards the right side. Herbie may be thinking he can either grab some free points or kind of force Adam here to split his forces if he wants to fight for the bigger set of VPs that are available on the right side of the map. So we have Batty moving in, and Betty, his friend, also following right behind, or maybe not. Looks like they're no. So Adam is instead deciding to just hunker down and focus on this middle deployment zone. Really good spot for if one of them opens the door next round to just rush into Herbie's deployment zone and start attacking figures like Han Solo. And good to note that because this is not the mission where the doors open automatically at the end of the round, these Wookiees are going to be safe from any Han Solo end-of-round shots, at least from Han's current position. But of course, Han is yet to go. Ah, we see Luke Skywalker activating. I had assumed he had already gone. I believe that was just Gideon moving him. So that makes more sense. Gideon moving him 2 spaces, and then focusing him. And now Herbie moving Luke to grab that 3rd crate over on the right. So he really wants that 6 VPs. He's going to try and win the VP war in this game. Which actually puts some pressure on Adam. He's going to have to find a way to catch up to Herbie without taking too many shots to his Wookiees. They do, of course, have a lot of health. But Adam going to have to kind of chase down Herbie because as it is now, at the end of each round, Herbie's going to get more VPs than Adam. So Teddy and Freddy trying to move, getting into position. We have a crate full of Wookiees on the left center side of the map now. And Han Solo deciding he wants nothing to do with that. I don't blame him either. And it looks like the players end the round there. I think the one downside to Herbie's play here is that he's left his set of support figures out in the open to get demolished by these Wookiees. But we'll see what happens. Maybe someone's going to open up that door to the right at the beginning of round 2. Both players going to draw 2 cards, so both players now at 6 cards in hand, and players going to start getting VPs. So Herbie at 6, Sushi Cat at 4. Sushi Cat is going to distribute power tokens from the blue crates. Sushi Cat being Adam, of course. Looks like he should be getting block tokens. So I'm not sure why he got a power token. Maybe they're still just deciding which kind of tokens those are. Yep, they're extra block tokens. So like I said, Sushi Cat getting a couple extra block tokens, and Herbie going for the offensive side, giving himself surge tokens and power tokens to Luke, Lando, and Leia with the surge token. Initiative switching sides over here, over to, let's see, who's it on? Gideon. So it's actually on Herbie. Is this the second time it's on Herbie in a row? Did I miss a command card play? Because I believe round 1 we saw Herbie go first, but that might have been Sushi Cat passing since he has less activations. So this might actually be Herbie's initiative right now. Okay, so Herbie activating Gideon, and makes sense, he's going to start having his support figures run away. Focusing R2, because the only person he could see, Han Solo, is already focused. And then R2 going on Sushi Cat's side. Going to scomp another card. So trying to generate that advantage. But of course, I think this is going to give Herbie's R2 the chance to also scomp that extra card. Oh no, he's actually going to go with 3PO, and 3PO is going to run for his life. And then Herbie's R2 also going to scomp. Looks like this is where Adam must have passed. And run, but also want to control that terminal, so he's not really ready to give up full control of the area yet. So now Adam going to have to open the door and chase down Herbie through the corridors here. And again, Sushi Cat, Adam is the same person here. And we have our first command card of the game being played. I'm going to have to pull this scorecard out of the way. And we have Urgency being played by, I believe, Betty. Or it might be Betty's partner, Batty. Yeah, it's probably Batty playing it. And let's see if we have a negation. It does not seem so. So Batty getting to move in 6 spaces. So it looks like he only moved up 5, which is what he needed. But with that reach, he's going to get an attack off on Gideon. If he moved 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... Oh, no, he did move the full 6. I was going to say, if he got the cleave, it would be a nice opportunity there. This is one of the elite Wookiees, though. Not going to get that Fury of Kashyyyk Pierce bonus, but we are going to see our first attack of the game. So a roll of the figures. They roll their dice. Gideon rolling an evade, so it looks like this is going to be a 3 damage attack. Gideon survives, but I guess Adam decided he would have to go in and just start fighting the good fight, or else Herbie's going to keep kiting him for the rest of the game. It looks like Lando exhausted and didn't do anything. which is interesting because now we see another set of Wookiees going. I just saw Lando get tapped and kind of not do anything. Now we have Luke Skywalker deciding to go and not do anything. So Herbie just wants to control these crates and kind of wait for Adam to sneak up on him, it looks like. And now we have Leia, looks like going and getting ready to play a command card here. So she's going to play Fool Me Once. She's going to suffer 2 strain to return your opponent's discard pile to the game box and draw a card. That's interesting. I wonder if Herbie is doing this to pitch 2 cards from the deck. This is a card that can be used by any figure. But I think Leia's going to strain maybe 2 cards from the deck here. We'll see. Sushi Cat wrote something in the... wrote some kind of code in the chat. Not sure what that's about. Okay. 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 So Fool Me Once, like I said, is having Leia suffer 2 strain. It looks like Herbie had her take that as damage to return your opponent's discard pile to the game box. So I guess Adam's urgency is gone for the rest of the game. It's removed from game. If we highlight over here on the right, it says box now. And then she gets to draw a card. If you are a... I can't drag it. Let's pull this guy out really quick. Command cards. Yes. Then if you're a spy, draw 1 command card. Okay, so Leia being a spy gets to... Here's the command card in full glory. Leia being a spy gets to draw an extra card for Herbie here. Okay. And I think he did that for the free draw. It's still Herbie's turn. Now, what's interesting is he might have taken the 2 strain as damage so that he can then prepare to do an attack and use a surge to recover 2. If he doesn't do that this turn, though, I'm not sure if that makes a lot of sense for him to do. As you can see, I don't know what to do about these windows. They want to keep showing cards as I move my mouse around. And that's it. He just had Leia suffer 2 damage, which I think is a little crazy. Because Leia has battlefield leadership, it might not be out of the question to use the strain to send command cards to your graveyard and then have more targets for military efficiency. Now you might say, oh, that's, that's not a good use of command cards, but I don't know. I think it could be a good way to like recycle a good use of military efficiency to not have to pay that health cost. But it is the catch-22 as Leia can also just heal. But should anything happen to Leia in the next round before she gets a chance to activate again, she's going to be much, much more likely to die here. But Adam's figure's still just trying to catch up. It looks like they've about caught up to Herbie's support package, but have not fully caught up to the rest of the main gang, the trio, up in the upper right corner, controlling all those crates. So it looks like Han just kind of bolting for it, making a run for it. We hit end of round. Looks like players here drawing 2 cards. Or sorry, only 1 card each. No one's controlling a terminal. Looks like Sushi Cat had R2-D2 run away at the end of the round, or whenever he had the chance to protect him, while the Wookiees are contesting Herbie's terminal. But Herbie winning the VP war here because at the end of round 2, no real firefight has happened. It's just been a chase around the map. They're ringing around the rosy. These Wookiees have finally caught up to Adam's support package. And I wonder if this is where... or Herbie's support package. And this might be where Herbie's main trio need to start fighting these Wookiees from afar. Blast them down as they approach. But Sushi Cat behind on the VPs by 4 points now. Initiative going back to Herbie. Yeah, going back to Adam. Sorry. And then the power tokens being distributed. So Leia now with 2 surge tokens, which makes sense. Maybe that makes more sense with the Fool Me Once cost. Taking HP because she can use an extra surge token to recover. She's very likely to get that recover off. Okay, and we see a command card being played from Adam here. This is Adrenaline. So all of the Wookiees are going to have +5 health this round. And Herbie not seeming to have a negation for that. But Herbie is going to respond with There Is Another, which grants Leia an extra surge for the entire round. And this might not actually be the most updated version of this card. There Is Another. Use it at the start of a round until the end of the round. You gain the Force User trait and apply +1 surge to your attack results. So that is not the most recent version of the card. Season 8, Leia. There we go. So you can see Leia here in the bottom left corner is actually a Force User in Season 7. So this is not actually the right version of There Is Another. The one that is probably being used and referenced here is this one. So this is Leia's card. You still use it at the start of a round, and it actually doesn't give you the surge anymore. But it lets you draw a card, and then during the round you can play command cards whose restriction matches the name of another Force User in your army. So for the round it turns Leia into Mara Jade, which is pretty cool. So are we going to see a Leia, Son of Skywalker? And then Battlefield Leadership with Han? That would be a very powerful turn. But back to Adam, Sushi Cat. It looks like he's going to go with some regular Wookiees first, and they're going to just start charging. I think it's time to see the fight actually start taking place. And let's see if I can squeeze this over a little bit, make it a little less awkward. There we go. Okay. So it looks like we have Bing Bong. We have Bing Bong going. So it looks like it's Bong. He's making an attack on Gideon. Going to try and finish him off. He rolls 4 damage. Gideon rolls 1 defense. That's not going to be enough. Gideon is taken out. And Sushi Cat's going to gain 3 VPs from that. Let's squeeze this in a little bit. And then we have Herbie drawing a card. Maybe that's late from the There Is Another command card that's still in play here for the round. Just throw that up. It looks like we have another command card about to be played here. Or not. Nope, we have Bing moving. Okay. So Bing just moving straight in, and then R2-D2 being activated on Herbie's side. Going to scomp that card and make an attack on one of those Wookiees there. Wookie playing a block token, R2-D2 getting the extra surge, and the focus from R2-D2 going to play a big role here in doing a little extra damage. So here we have R2 with an extra surge being able to put in a little more damage. So we see 2 damage symbols on the dice, 2 surges. So that's probably going to be a Pierce 2 to get off 1 damage, and it's possibly something like a stun. Okay. Yep, they put up this card for reference too, and looks like Bong is getting stunned here, which, not sure that was the best target, but I guess it's the one R2 can see, because he's not going to be able to move. And then we seemingly have Adam's R2 activating, and he's going to go for a Scomp. Draw another card for Adam. Yep, and then he's going to stay next to that terminal, try to control it, maybe force Han to choose between shooting a Wookiee later in the round and shooting at R2. C-3PO on Herbie's side, going to move up to this crate, control it, and give some... Oh, no, actually moving all the way up, wants to protect Luke Skywalker, fight for crate control, and probably give distracting bonuses to Leia or possibly Han later in the round, as this looks like, because of the play of Adrenaline, this is probably Sushi Cat's big round. So we have Freddy and Teddy going in. Looks like the first one is going to declare an attack on R2. We have 4 symbols being rolled, but R2 with the lucky going to take no damage from this attack. So then Freddy moving in and declaring his own attack. R2 only rolling a single block this time. This looks like it's going to be 3, 4, 5 damage. Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So this is an elite Wookiee attacking, and I think this is where the Fury of Kashyyyk bonus is coming into play. The Pierce 2 is finally happening. So because Freddy or Teddy is making an attack and they're an elite Wookiee and there are several other Wookiees within range 2 of R2, the attack gains a Pierce 1, and being elite Wookiees... Oops. Being elite Wookiees, they have Surge for +2. And so they rolled 4 damage and +2, that's exactly 6. Which is exactly enough to take out R2 here. What do we have going on? Sushi Cat getting a few more VPs, and it looks like drawing a card. Oh, I believe this is... okay, so every time one of Herbie's figures is dying, he's using Heroic Effort here. So that's why the card's going back, so he picked one to put at the bottom. And yep, at this point, he's now lost R2 and C-3PO, so he's lost a lot of his support package, putting Herbie in the losing position. Adam is now in the lead. And Lando, looks like he's running away, going to try and keep control of the crate, though, and Herbie playing the cat and mouse game still, putting all of his figures up towards the top of the map, and then declaring that battlefield leadership on R2. Going to get the +1 surge from a surge token, and even if R2 manages to, dodge this, yep, he gets a dodge, but Leia is just so good at attacking that she's still going to recycle a card of Herbie's choice into the command deck, as well as surge to recover 2 on Leia. So Leia is very strong here. Yep, we see the 2 damage go away, and then Fool Me Once getting shuffled back into the deck. And if you need the reference... here's her card again. That's the military efficiency and the surge for recover 2 coming into play. And then, of course, she is having Han Solo follow up with an attack. And let's see if we have the other card for Han here. Rogue Smuggler. So Han has a lot of good surges, but he also has Rogue Smuggler, which upgrades him to a 10 cost figure instead of 12, and gives him a lot of extra abilities, including a reroll on the attack. So R2 rolling basically the best defense he can that is not one of his dodges, since he gets 2. And Han having the opportunity to reroll here, don't necessarily think he needs it. And then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage symbols, even with an evade and a block, that's 2, 4, 6. Yeah, that's a dead R2. Herbie going to score 3 points, putting him just below Sushi Cat's 16. What's going on here? Okay, we have Celebration being played, and it looks like that's going to give Herbie an extra 4 victory points here. Making that R2-D2 actually worth 7 points, making that a lot more of an attractive kill. Han Solo losing the focus. And Adam continuing on with Wookiee Warriors on the bottom, so he's down to just his Wookiees, since he's lost his entire support. And it looks like this last door may be going to be opened. No, Adam is electing to have his Wookiees run around the ring. And now we see Luke Skywalker activating, going to move and take an attack on one of Adam's Wookiees here, spending a power token for damage and a +1 damage from, or getting it focused as well. Skywalker actually having a couple of innate bonuses here. So we have Heir to the Jedi. So this actually gives more bonuses to regular Luke Skywalker, the one we're seeing about to attack. So he is going to get +1 damage on his ranged attack, so that's why we see a +2 on the die tray over here. And then Okay, and Luke able to reroll one of those dice, possibly going to reroll the blue. Nope. Looks like Herbie is happy with this roll. So this looks like a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 6 damage. Yep, this Wookiee is straight up taking 6 damage. And that looks like it is one of the regulars. So it's already over halfway dead. We see it get focused, though, as Fury of Kashyyyk focuses Wookiees when they take 3 or more damage. And that does not matter if you're a lead or not. So now we have Batty and Betty running up and just running forward. And we just saw a command card leave the hand. We see Son of Skywalker coming into play. The question is whether this is being played by Leia or by Luke. We're going to get to see one of these cards refresh. Okay, we see Leia using it with the ability from There Is Another to activate Son of Skywalker and basically allow Leia to go again, which is even more potent in this case because instead of just letting Farm Boy Luke attack again, it's going to let Leia use Battlefield Leadership again, refresh another card such as Celebration, which is very strong, and also basically get 2 more attacks, possibly even one from Han. And then we see Leia making the move immediately, declaring an attack on an unhurt Wookiee, who's going to spend his block token. And we have the damage coming out. So we see, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 2, 3 defense. So that's only 2 damage. But again, Leia is going to get to recover. She can return Celebration if she wants to the death. Looks like maybe she chose not to. And then we have Luke Skywalker going in with another damage token. I think they maybe might have messed up their order here a little bit and forgot to throw in a +1 somewhere, because I believe Luke had 2 +1 tokens at the start of this round. Luke getting a reroll, but rolling a lot of single sides on these dice, not getting as much through. This looks like a 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 damage to the Wookiee. It looks like they might have just straight up forgot a +1 somewhere along the way. Looks like they maybe used the power token and then reset the die field right after. And then Herbie not choosing to put Celebration back in the deck, but is choosing to steal that terminal on Adam's side of the field. And then we have Han Solo moving up for his end of round. And let's pull up Rogue Smuggler for that. Alright, so I actually had to take a step away for a second, but coming back I've realized that this is not Han's end of round shot. We'll pull up, maybe we can pull up Rogue Smuggler, the card that affects that, for when it is his end of round shot. However, this looks like Herbie's final activation of the round. So this is actually just Han Solo taking his turn. He moved up, he's taking a shot at the Wookiee. And rolling some dice. This is an unfocused shot. Looks like we have a reroll from Han's. I think he just gets a reroll from Rogue Smuggler. Yeah. And it looks like the Wookiee's going to take 4 from that, which is fine. And then Han moving up to control the crate. And then we're hitting the end of round step. Both players are going to draw 1. They should each draw 2. Yeah. Weirdly enough, Herbie is controlling the terminal near Adam's deployment zone, and Adam is controlling the terminal near Herbie's deployment zone. Looks like only VPs being scored are on Herbie's end. He has 1 crate that he is controlling, and then Adam is contesting the yellow crate in the center, and also controlling the crate on the bottom, so he should be getting 2 as well. The Wookiees, let's see. So both of them should be getting a power token on one of their figures. They maybe forgot about that. We see some spots being pointed out to on the map. Let's see. Not sure what that was about, but I think this is Han Solo taking an end-of-round shot on Batty. Gonna re-roll that, and Batty going to... So, because of Adrenaline, let's see, during this round, apply +5 health to each of your Wookiees. So Han actually doesn't kill Batty. He brings him to 15 damage. Batty is a is an elite Wookiee warrior, right? So he's got 13 health. He's now taken 15 damage, but because of adrenaline, he actually has 18 health until the end of the round. But we're at the end of the round, so this Wookiee's going to die in a second here. And then we have a Wookiee playing Death Blow. And playing Dying Lunge. Okay, playing Dying Lunge and Death Blow. So as we hit the end of the round, this elite Wookiee baddie, who is focused from all the damage he's taken, is going to play Dying Lunge and Death Blow to get a very strong shot at Han. We can zoom in a little bit to this. Man, you people asking for zoomed in windows are asking for a lot. Everything has to move all the time. And then these windows on the right don't want to behave. I might need to move them over to the left because I have to scroll over every time I want to press the page down button. So yeah, adrenaline is gone. So this is like, as the round transitions, we have Dying Lunge and Death Blow being played on Han Solo. This should be baddie. I guess he does not have to move as he has the reach. Though I think I would still move on to the crate to force Han to move a little further away, but if he were to play on the lamb, but we don't know. Oh, and there it is. There we have the on the lamb to counter both the Dying Lunge and the Death Blow. So that's not going to do anything. Unfortunate. Now, with both of those gone, Han is going to move into a safe position very far from the crate and actually not going to return fire as there's no need to. And also, I think this is technically round 3 since the adrenaline lasts until the end of the round. You know what? I actually don't know. So I guess it would be confusing as to which round that return fire would have been played on. Because adrenaline lasts during the round, and then when it goes away, I guess that's still technically round 2, but I don't know. That's a weird interaction. As to whether Han's return fire, had he done it, would have counted as round 2 or round 3. Second chance being played on Luke to make sure he survives, so I guess this is the turn that Herbie is planning to kind of like hold his ground and try to hold these crates and shoot at a bunch of these Wookiees. At this point, Herbie is winning 26-16, and we're going into round 3. Actually, we're going into round 4. Pretty sure this is the 4th round. But we have a tank initiative being played from Adam, and then Herbie with the negation. So a lot of command cards that have been held in the hand until this point in the game. This seems like a dire situation for Adam, I would say, because even though he still has plenty of Wookiees to charge up at Herbie's list, Herbie's been playing a very good game of threading the needle, snaking them. Can't think of the word. But basically sally porting only 1 or 2 to be able to attack at a time. And negation going to stop that take initiative to keep Adam from gaining any momentum, who is behind 10 VPs already. Herbie just has to take out a few choice Wookiees here and maybe get a crate or 2, and he should be able to clinch out the game this round. We'll see if he's able to do that now that Luke has second chance. And Luke is going to be taking a ranged shot at the Wookiee Arthur. And with a reroll, it looks like 5-6 damage. Or only 3 because of the blocks, yeah. And then Luke gonna run back. Arthur, the Wookiee who just got shot, is now focused if he wasn't already. And he's gonna run up and attack 3PO. I think Arthur just wants to take what he can get at this point. Or Adam does. Using the focus, that's 5 damage. That's pretty good. Yep, 3PO's out of the game. And no celebration or anything off of that. But it looks like heroic effort being done by Herbie as the 3PO is gone. Yep, he shifts something to the bottom as Arthur repositions. Repositioning Arthur away is an interesting choice. He does have 9 damage, so I guess Adam doesn't want Herbie to take any more of these Wookiees as he's so far ahead in VPs already. And a lot of that is due to getting more crates in the early rounds of the mission. Now we have Lando going, and he's going to take a shot at Betty in the back over here. Or perhaps this is a shot at Mika? It's a shot at one of the Wookiees. And we can zoom in on it. Okay. And we have a reroll, looks like, from Lando. Rerolling the yellow into a red with 3. Ooh, that's a lot. Does Lando have built-in accuracy is the question. So for those of you who don't know, Lando is the gambler in IACP. And in regular IA as well. So he can re-roll a dice into another dice, and he can guess a number, and if he gets it right, he can double the number of symbols on a die. Though it looks like it's limited to 0 to 2, so he cannot double the 3 damage side of a red die, which I thought he could do, but that looks like a pretty fair limitation. What's happening? All right, so Martha, sorry, that's the name of the Wookiee, takes 4 damage from the Lando attack, and he runs to control the crate, but also continue to kite, that's the word, kite Adam's figures. Adam going in with Bing and Bong. Bing's going to go and control the crate. Bong is going to get rid of his stun and just control the terminal for more cards at the end of the round. Although at this point I don't know how many rounds you guys are going to have left of this game. Looks like we're coming down to the wire. And Heart of Freedom being played. I think we just saw Han Solo activate, so Han going to take an extra 2 movement points and run all the way to the other side of the map to control some more crates. So Herbie just trying to win this strategically on the VP count, probably either waiting for the round timer or wanting to kite until he just hits 40. And then Freddy and Teddy maybe realizing that they're going to have to open this door to chase down Han, not advancing that far. Leia also running across the map to control another one of the crates. Looks like Herbie not exactly sure what he wants to do here, but he does control another crate. And already, I don't think Adam's going to be able to contest that. That's basically 4 free VPs for Herbie right there. But Herbie going in with Betty to attack Lando. He's got to try and make some play here. And looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 damage getting across. But Lando can re-roll that. Looks like he's not going to double anything, though. They're looking up how Lando works. And that's 4 damage to Lando. Maybe he re-rolled into the white die, hoping for a dodge. And we're hitting the end of the round. Adam able to draw 2 cards due to controlling more terminals. And Herbie only getting 1. But Herbie, seeing Sushi Cat gain, 2 crates worth of VPs, is also going to gain 2. Herbie is still 8 points in the lead and 10 points away from victory. They're going to distribute a few power tokens. Initiative going back to Sushi Cat. I'm surprised that they got to go into this round. Probably hitting round 5, I think? And hitting round 5 simply because there's probably not been enough attacks made to account for how much time... the round might still have time in it because it's all been positioning and movement for the most part in this game. Okay, we see Lando reroll a defense die into a block evade, and okay, looks like he's getting +1. And then feint getting played. Let's see what happened there, because that was an interesting attack. So Lando rolled an uninspired defense die and decided to reroll it with Gambit, and with Resourceful, he can reroll a die while attacking or defending. Then with Gambit, before you reroll, you may replace it with another die of the same type, so he rerolled his black defense die into a white defense die. The new die is considered rerolled. And then with his third ability, Shrewd Scoundrel, while attacking or defending, before you reroll a die, you may guess aloud a number from 0 to 2. If you get the number of damage or block symbols that matches the number you guessed on your new die, double that die's results, limit once per activation. So that +1 block might have come from Shrewd Scoundrel, but I think he would have also gotten an extra evade. Maybe he just didn't need it due to Herbie only rolling 1 evade. But it looks like Herbie playing Feint here to remove Lando's defense die and the doubled results, even if he guessed right, in order to remove one of his attack die and still get enough damage through. Although I don't think a single attack die here is enough. Yeah, I'm not seeing how he did 6... Oh, Lando's only got 4 health. Okay, so he removed his green die. The Wookiee Elite removed his green die and then used the red die to do 2 damage and Surge for +2 to do 4 damage against Lando with 0 defense results because he played Feint over on the left here. And that is going to be the end of Lando, and Sushi Cat actually getting a big boost in victory points here. He's just going to go up to almost tied with Herbie. And then we have another card, it looks like getting played, or maybe just Heroic Effort coming out. And then Teddy continuing to move, and then looking for a fight to move forward 1, get a power token damage. So this is part of the Teddy and Betty activation, I believe. Freddy, Teddy... Oh, this is Freddy and Teddy. So Freddy must have taken out Lando. But Teddy going to take an attack on Luke Skywalker after looking for a fight. So he looked for one, and he did indeed find one. Going to spend that power token. We have Herbie playing a command card. Knowledge and Defense to add an extra black to the roll. And then Luke having an innate defense, and he rolls the dodge. So this Wookiee attack not going to do anything. Okay. Now we have, looks like Leia doing nothing. Wookiees, more Wookiees moving. We got Bing and Bong. Bing moving up to attack Luke. Luke with the second dodge in a row. This is looking very unfortunate for Adam's comeback ability here. Bong moving up, not able to get the attack this round. And then Han Solo just kind of repositioning here a little bit. And then Heart of Freedom being played by one of Adam's figures, it looks like. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so Martha playing Heart of Freedom and Face to Face. So what's going on? Looks like Adam playing Heart of Freedom to move Martha 2, and then Face to Face to move Martha 2 spaces after a regular move, and then perform an attack. And Martha is a regular Wookiee, so there's no Pierce bonus coming in here. But he is going to expose weakness. I don't think you can... Actually, don't know if that's legal. So he wants to expose weakness used during your activation to choose an adjacent hostile figure. The next attack targeting that figure gains Pierce 3. The issue with expose weakness here is that face-to-face is a special action. I can't move it, but if you look at the bottom right, it should zoom in. So you move up to 2 spaces, then perform an attack targeting an adjacent figure or object. And if Martha's playing that to get in range here, which it looks like she is, you have to do that all at once as it's a single special action. And so I don't think you can just expose weakness in the middle of that. So I wonder if they're going to recognize that ruling right there, or if they're just going to play with the Pierce 3. Okay. So yeah, it kind of looks like he put it back in his hand. Luke rolling the 1 block and finally getting a white on the defense. But not a very good roll from Martha, unfortunately. So they pull up the card for the Wookiee Warrior here. And Luke going to take 1, 2, 3 damage. 4? 4 and bleed. They do have Surge for bleed. Maybe they counted the Pierce 3 from Exposed Weakness. Not sure about that. Not sure how they rolled that many symbols, but Luke now going to strike back and probably use one of his surges to recover. This looks like it's actually a Saber Strike, as Luke, while adjacent to an enemy here, can use Saber Strike to perform a melee attack using 1 red and 1 yellow die that gains Pierce 3. So that's very powerful. And with all these damage symbols, it's strong, but what makes it even more insane is that Heir to the Jedi not only gives Luke a reroll and a +1 on his gun attack, but when you use Saber Strike, you become focused. So he gets a free extra die here. He's rolling 7 damage, Pierce 3 against this Wookiee. And I'd say because of the evade, it's not even worth the reroll. Just pump 7 damage into Martha here. We'll see if he decides to reroll anything. Yeah, no, Martha going up to 9 damage. That leaves her at 2 health left. Betty going up to get some revenge on Luke. And with 1 block on Luke, he is actually looking kind of safe here. Only going to take 2 damage, it looks like. Oh, but we have a command card getting played. Overwhelming Impact. So this is going to give Martha, or Betty here, +1 damage and +1 evade for each defense die rolled. And then you ignore all defense results that are not on dice. So this is actually strong. This is going to remove Luke's block and add a +1 damage and +1 evade, which basically cancels his defense die. And as Betty is an elite, I want to say he's an elite, or she. Yeah, as Betty is an elite, they can search for +2. So that looks like 5, maybe 5 damage getting through here. Let's see, you're going to do +1, +1, putting Luke's card up here, and Luke is dead. So Luke only had 10 health. Oh, right. So, yeah, so if we look at the +1 block, +1 damage, +1 surge as negating the defense die, then the red and green dies are doing 4 damage, surge for +2, that's 6 damage, that kills Luke. Exactly. And Sushi Cat going up to 35, turning this game around. Wow. Not sure what that ping there is doing. Oh, and they reached the end of the log. So I think that means they had to call it here. And probably reached the end. Yep, they reached the end of round 4 or 5, whichever that was. And, wow. Herbie kiting very well the entire game, but and playing defensively. But at the very end, Adam able to pull off just enough of the stops to keep up in VPs and just crush that victory parameter. I think when he started getting more crates on the right side than Herbie, he started to close the gap. And then the kill of Lando and Luke enough to bring him above Herbie's 30 VPs. I thought that this was in Herbie's bag at the point. Good game to both the players. Yeah, this is kind of old, but hey, let's just finish up this Season 7 set of Vassalogs I got, and we can move forward looking at Season 8 after this. Alright guys, I will see you in the next one. May the 4th be with you. Stay frosty.